You hear it all the time, get your yearly mammogram. Do you agree or disagree?
Well, we're here today, so I disagree. I don't understand why we're preventing breast cancer with a screening tool that can increase your risk of breast cancer, because mammograms come with ionizing radiation, and the breast tissue is tissue in the body that's very radiation sensitive. It's not the same as holding a cell phone that has diffuse radiation all over the whole body.
Yeah.
And so we're getting this screening with radiation when we're preventing a cancer that could be caused by partly by radiation.
It increases your risk.
Right? I'm not going to eat candy because it increases my risk of breast cancer and all these other diseases. So why am I radiating my breast to prevent cancer? It just doesn't make sense. Why are we putting ourselves at any harm for any screening? Everything in medicine is weighing the pros and the cons, and I think the cons outweigh the pros.
For screening, like for proactive approach. Like if someone has cancer and because mammograms are required, like you would say, not as bad, but the compounding annual over.
I still wouldn't even get a mammogram if I had cancer, because there's other screening tools that you can use that are even more accurate. And maybe if there wasn't something else out there, you could do a handheld ultrasound, which has some issues too because it's operator dependent and it has some issues with dense breasts, but we have better tools. So I don't know what my viewpoints would be if we didn't have better tools, but because we do have better tools, I say nah.
Yeah. Well, I will say that's where, Dad's talked about mammograms, I feel like, for some time, because like even the Cochrane Review came out with their study saying like, yeah, I think it said like 1 in 10 could be helped their life can be saved by a mammogram, but we're also overdiagnosing 30 to 40% of cases, 40% in the US. Therefore, we're over-treating people with very invasive treatments who didn't actually need cancer. And we'll talk more about overdiagnosis and overtreatment. But these better tools, I know because you have one at Longevity RX. Can you tell us what they are? And I'm so grateful for them because there's not a question anymore of like, do I get a mammogram or I don't? There's a better option. So what is it?
Yeah, QT imaging is amazing. It's called QT imaging. And what you do is you lay on a table and you put your breast in a bath of warm water. It's body temperature, so it's not uncomfortable at all. And it uses ultrasound technology, but it's very different than handheld ultrasound. So I don't want people to be confused by that. And the image is taken 360 around the breast. So it's going all the way around the breast to look at every single angle and make sure that we're not missing anything. And it takes an image that's even more clear than a mammogram and an MRI. It's like mammogram and MRI had a baby that's even smarter than the parents. Mm-hmm. They just birthed Einstein.
I love when that happens.
And the great thing is that it can minimize the amount of overdiagnosis. And that's where QT imaging really, really shines, because there's no harm, there's no radiation, there's no compression. It's very comfortable. We put on spa music, we put on a podcast. It looks very nice in the room. We're trying to reduce the anxiety, and we're teaching people about what they're doing. They're not just coming in, getting their scan and leaving. We're talking to them about what it means to get a scan, what it means to have what we call overdiagnosis, how we prevent those things. And I think that education piece is also really important when someone is coming in to be screened.
It's so opposite from a mammogram too. We're like, did they even share that it's radiation?
And I always think this way. It's like, I'm kind of going off topic here, but with antibiotics, which also increase your risk of breast cancer, because when you go in for a cold and the doctor says, okay, I'm going to give you antibiotics to fight this. Do they tell you the risks of taking antibiotics? They don't tell you that it can increase your risk of cancer. They don't tell you that it can destroy your gut. They just say, here's antibiotics and you're going to feel better. Mm-hmm. It's like so many things in medicine. Why are we not telling people what's going on and the side effects and the risks to what they're doing? Like mammograms have radiation, for one. They aren't good for people who have dense breasts or implants, which dense breast just means that the breast tissue has more granular tissue, which is the tissue that produces milk. It's very common. About 50% of females have dense breasts, and we know what implants are. They show up white on mammography, and so does a tumor. So it's like finding snowfall in a field. I don't know, like a snowstorm. Yeah, exactly. And it's just really hard to see. So they don't tell you that either. Some people might know that about dense breasts and implants, but they don't tell you about the radiation. They don't tell you that. And then MRIs come with gadolinium. So it's a contrast heavy metal that you're putting in your body, which is toxic to get the MRI, and they won't do a breast MRI. Like some MRIs you can do without the contrast, heavy metal, but not breast MRIs. And they also don't produce the most accurate results. They have the same downfall with the dense breast and the implants, and they also lead to overdiagnosis. Like one thing that I love to share with people and find very interesting is I'm going to read for you off of the CDC's website, is that I don't want to take the time of pulling it up, but it even says on the CDC's website that people who are at average risk for breast cancer, meaning any Joe Schmo that's walking on the street, doesn't have the BRCA gene, doesn't have a family member that's had breast cancer, should get a mammogram from ages 40 to 74 every 1 to 2 years.
34 years.
Yeah. Then it says for people who are at high risk, like if you do have a relative who's had breast cancer, or if you have the BRCA gene, you should get an MRI, and you should alternate between mammogram and MRI. And then it goes on to say that MRIs are not recommended for people who are at average risk because they result in abnormal results. And things can appear abnormal even on the CDC's website.
They can appear abnormal when they're not.
Right.
Is that right? So that's where we get into overtreatment.
Yes.
And how, it's so funny. Jacob always asks me this when I always share, my husband always asks me like, how do you know that, how do they know it's being overtreated? Can you answer that?
Yes, of course. So one thing I want to share that I found really interesting when I started researching is that about 50% of females on autopsy who die of other causes like cardiovascular disease, like old age, never knew they had breast cancer. On autopsy, 50% of people have breast cancer that would have never harmed them in their whole entire life. It is benign. It would have never caused their death.
Is that because it's so slow growing?
It's so slow growing, and there's masses in the breast that can be abnormal, quote unquote, that will never harm you. They're benign. There's a lot of things that pop up in breast. Like I'm sure people have felt a cyst or they feel a density in the breast. That doesn't mean they have cancer, and it doesn't mean that it increases their risk of cancer. And what happens in conventional screening is you go for a mammogram, you go for an MRI, they see something abnormal, but they don't know what it is. And then they send you for a biopsy. And the thing about the biopsy is the pathologist also cannot determine if something abnormal is harmless, benign, and never going to kill you, or aggressive, harmful, and going to harm you. So they tell both cases that it's cancer, regardless of which category you fall in. And that's what we call overdiagnosis, because we're treating people who don't need to be treated.
I just wanted to chime in about the biopsy component because this was so interesting to me, is that when you think about it, you think, oh, they biopsied it. So they can know because they have the cells under their microscope, but they're dead. They're cut out of the living organism. Therefore, you're only getting one photo view of if it's cancer or not. So you can't tell if it's slow growing or fast growing and aggressive. So just one snapshot. It's not the full story, which is really important to know.
And that's where QT imaging shines, because QT imaging takes 200,000 more data points than a conventional imaging, and it's 40 times more clear of an image, right? And it actually measures things to anatomical size, meaning that the size that the abnormality or the breast is on the screen is the size in the body. And the only way to distinguish if something is harmless, benign, never going to kill you, or harmful, aggressive, and going to kill you is something called lesion doubling time. So you're looking at how fast the mass is doubling in size. Cancers have an average doubling time of 120 days. Benign masses do not double. They do not change in size. They sometimes even go away. So with QT imaging, because you can measure to anatomical size, you can take the exact measurement of a lesion, and then you can repeat the scan in 3 to 6 months, 3 to 4 months being the sweet spot, compare it to your last scan, and know with accuracy if it's something that's aggressive or benign.
Wow. Crazy.
And you can actually calculate the doubling time, the exact amount of days that it took to double in size, with the technology behind QT imaging, because it couples the sound waves with the ultrasound waves with AI and a lot of other technology. I actually think this is really fun. So I thought that I could potentially read scans for people if immediately so that they could get like a quicker response when they came into Longevity RX. So I went to a radiology training thinking that I could do that. And I learned that I cannot. I had a great time. I was able to read a lot of scans, but I just didn't want to, make a mistake and cause too much anxiety for people. So I think it's better that someone who actually specializes in breast radiology and also went through the extensive training reads the scans. But that experience was so cool because I got to see where they manufacture the QT scans. And I met this Einstein behind QT, was this mastermind guy who's coding all day, working on AI. What other medical technology, like medical equipment, has that kind of technology?
Mm-hmm.
It was just so cool.
And they say medicine takes, or like inventions take 17 years to catch up to conventional medical care. And it's like we're bridging that gap with Longevity RX. And what I love about you having a medical practice and even being a part of it is that Dad was always so dubious about conventional medical care. He decided to go into the industry to change it. And I just think it's so cool that we're carrying on that legacy. I know you're doing the medicine, but just, helping you get the message out.
Girl.
Thanks. But just carrying on that legacy of these state-of-the-art inventions where you don't have to sacrifice anything for clear pictures and like prevention and diagnostic tools. Like we're not into invasive procedures but if you are trying to be proactive and like want these screening tools as a motivator, like, oh, I have something benign going on, I'm going to eat and get rid of it. Or I'm going to look at my body fat percent or my carotenoid score and like do something about these numbers. They're coming out with these testing and these technologies that are not invasive and can help us prolong our health, which is like, I feel like never been done before in medicine.
Mm-hmm. One of the reasons I love doing an advanced blood panel with people at Longevity RX is because, not necessarily because I think they need it to prevent anything, but it's just the best motivator. Like people don't want to change their diet. They don't want to use supplements. They see that they need to on a physical lab on a test, they're going to do it.
Yeah, 100%.
And I find it just so helpful to get patients on that path.
Yeah, it is.